Hey there, good evening friends. Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. And those of you that have been here the last 10 weeks know it's time for the hashtag steeltoesrequired quote of the week. And for those of you that haven't been here, let me introduce myself. My name is Dennis LaRue. I am your Chief Inspirational Officer and Transformational Change Agent, personally, professionally, globally, through the art and skill of coaching. Hey Amy, glad to see you, my friend. Hey, congratulations on your patch, getting one out. Vince, Chuck, glad to see you here as well. Episode 10, hashtag steeltoesrequired quote of the week. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't been here before, the whole idea of hashtag steeltoesrequired is this. In the speaking world, if somebody says something that's going to poke you, if it's going to prod you, if it's going to make you a little uncomfortable, the speaker will say, what I'm about to say is going to step on your toes. It's not going to feel good. It's going to hit you where it hurts. And so that is my aim here these last 10 weeks. And so let's get into our quote. And I love this. Now, I love to be inspired. I love inspirational movies. And our quote today comes from one of my all-time top 10 favorite inspirational movies, Mr. Holland's Opus. Came out in, I think, the mid-90s, 96, I think. If you Wikipedia it, you can. If you haven't seen it, don't Wikipedia it, go get it. It will touch your life, I promise you. But here's the quote. Our quote is, play the sunset. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, you have no idea what these three words mean. I mean, I can see it, I can hear you right now just saying, I ain't seen this movie, and Dennis, these three words, what does that mean? So let's give it some context. Here it is. Mr. Holland is a high school music teacher. He's in his classroom, sitting at the piano, waiting for one of his students to come in after class to get some help playing the clarinet. And her name is Gertrude. Gertrude is, hey, Deuce, good to see you, my friend. As she walks in, she's this fiery redhead, and she comes in, and she just has this look about her that says, you know what? She doesn't want to be there. She's running late. And she said, and Mr. Holland lets her know that she's running late, and she says, you know, she said, I'm just going to quit. You know, you can give my clarinet to somebody else. And Mr. Holland pulls her aside and says, whoa, wait a second. You know, the scene is, he wants to find out why she's quitting. And he realizes this. She's been practicing and practicing this particular song, and she hits a certain note, and she misses it every single time. Every time she misses it. And Mr. Holland realizes in that moment that what's been happening is she's been doing the time, she's doing the practice, she's playing the notes on the page, but they have both lost the why they were playing the music in the first place. They were playing it for fun. It was fun to play music. And so he plays an old record. The movie's set back in the 60s. He plays Louie Louie, and they get all excited about the three notes, and he has her sit down with the clarinet. And he tells her, without music, you don't need the music because your fingers know it, your mind knows it, your heart knows it. You know the notes, play it. So they go and play, and they get to that moment again where that one note she keeps missing comes up, and she missed it again. After all that, she missed it. And Mr. Holland then sits back and he asked her two questions. He realized something. He pointed out to her that she doesn't believe in herself. She knows the notes, she knows how to play it, she's done the work, but she doesn't believe in herself. She's lacking confidence. And so he asked two very penetrating questions. And the first one was this. He said, Gertrude, when you look in the mirror, what is the favorite thing that you see in that mirror? What do you like the most about that person you see in the mirror? And without hesitation, she says, my hair, bright orange, just red hair, just bright. And he asked her, well, why? Why is that your favorite? And she says, because my daddy always says that it reminds him of the sunset. Mr. Holland at that point says, play the sunset. And in that moment, they play the music again. Right after he says that, play the sunset. They try again. And you know what? She nailed it. Mr. Holland quit playing and she played the rest of the song to perfection. It was brilliant. She played the sunset. Now, she knew the notes. She knew what to play. She knew how to play it. And she put in the time to play it. But she didn't believe in herself enough to play it. So several lessons from this movie stand out. And the first one that stands out to me is what Amy just typed up. Not believing yourself is a killer. Not believing in yourself, no matter how good or even great you are in practice. When it's game time, if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to miss every shot. You're going to throw incompletions. You're not going to get the job done. Proof of this is I played basketball in high school. I can remember in practice hitting 42 free throws in a row. I just had lunch. I had dinner with a friend of mine the other day. We played basketball together. He lives here in San Antonio with me, Jeff Grove. And we were talking about how in practice we could nail 20 to 40 free throws in a row. We would get these papers for free burgers at McDonald's from our coach if we could hit 20 in a row. I hit 42 in a row. And then I would go into the game and I would go 0 for 4 from the foul line. So what was the difference? The difference was when I got to the foul line and it was game time, I didn't believe in myself to make the shot. I was paying attention to everything around me, and I wasn't focused on just doing what I normally do in practice. So, yeah. So, I understand that perspective. Now, here's another very important thing that came from that quote. Mr. Holland recognized that she didn't believe in herself. And so, but he believed in her. He believed in her. He saw her potential. He knew she was putting in the work. She was putting in the effort. And he knew she was stuck. What about you? First off, if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to know you're stuck. Where are you stuck right now? And then, who out there can you turn to help you get unstuck? First, you got to believe in yourself. But there's sometimes you're so stuck that all you can see is the mud around you. But somebody else is watching. Who's that for you? Now, for Gertrude, Mr. Holland tapped into, he didn't tell her, I believe in you. He had to tap into her why. And her why was her dad's belief in her. When she heard those words, play the sunset, when she tapped into why she liked her hair so much, and it was because her dad liked her hair so much, Mr. Holland pushed that button. And in that button, I can tell you right now, they could have made that movie about superheroes, and Gertrude would have had superpowers. There's nothing Gertrude would not have done. And I won't share, spoiler alert, watch the end of the movie. Gertrude plays an important part at the end. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. If you haven't seen it, see it. But Gertrude taps into that belief in that why of her dad, and she overcame her barrier. So who is that for you? Whose encouragement, whose word do you need to get you over the top? That when you hear those precious words that they said to you, and it doesn't matter what it was, it took you to a whole new level, that you could accomplish anything. I go back to that basketball.